line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here live on the PT Race TV. We've got another hot opener for you today here under the hot days and suns here in Kansas City, Kansas. It's Kansas Speedway for a GOAT Racing League Diecast LLC Super Series. Ladies and gentlemen, super late models at Kansas Speedway live here on PT Race TV. Hello again, everyone. I am the Crusader Christian Charge. Joining you guys here today as I have a good friend and colleague here, Michael Bollinger, joining us for just one little ride. Michael decided to hop in for a little while and see what you liked on these super late model cars. Talk me through about this one, like what you've seen so far from practice.
From what I've seen in practice, I've seen a few more spins than what I've normally been seeing at Kansas, but these Gen 6s that I've been watching on Sundays look a little bit better, but this is my first ever super late model. I'm interested to see how this is going to handle.
We're about to find out indeed here as we get live here. This is your GOAT Racing Diecast LLC grading order starting lineup. On the pole, the number 2 is Mike Kelly on the outside. The number 26, Elisa Fouty, row number 2. And the number 19, the Reign of Terror, Tyler Dahl on the outside. And the number 84, at the M, Calatoni. Row number 3 is the 91 of Wesley Donaldson on the outside. The number 60, it is John Hickman Jr. Row number 4. And the 43, E-Pile, Samuel Harrell. The outside, that is going to be AJ Cawthon. And the number 61, row number 5. And the number 24, it's Cody Sturgill outside. And the 22, the Wild Man himself, Alan Wild. Row number 6 and the 009, it's Bobby Wetzel on the outside. And the big 04, Doug Sigmund. Row number 7, pilots, the number 12, Ryan D. Cope, the outside, and the 081, it's David Watts. Row number 8 is the 23, that's Charles Van Schaik, the outside, the 88, that is Levi McCarty. Row 9, the 127, that's Kevin England, the outside, that's 74, of it, Brian Werman. Your final seed today, pilots, number 96, the living legend, Jerry Livingston. That is your starting lineup here, race fans, as we now settle them down on the track here, from and down to the front straightaway here, and now to turn number 1. Now, Michael, I know you're new to this here a little bit, but here's the deal, my friend. We got some heavy hitters in this one, far in between. A couple names in here, though, to really know. That 84, there's a little thing there what the fans like to call Talking Giants versus the World. That is the reference you'll see a lot of. That is something he is known to say. Mike Kelly used to be the bridesmaid a lot when he was now piloting that number 2. This season, he is just all but turned it alive, and now he is looking for a championship playoff here, or championship win, I should say, not playoff berth. They're all racing just for the simple phase of actual race point system. Steph Fouty this season been a little bit off his rocker here and a little bit off his pace, but this time around putting up a great time there. That 19 back there, he is known as the Reign of Terror because this man just does not know when to stop winning races, and he has won numerous races from the trucks in the Cup division when we dealt with him. Wesley Donaldson, that WBD Diecast and driver to really watch out for. He's tough, he's fast as can be. Alan Wild, the Wild Man, 7 in a row. 2 veterans of this league. I'll send it down to you to lead them to the start.
Well, Kansas Speedway, it's time to get on your feet, make some noise, and yell for your driver as we are underway in the super late models here at Kansas.
Well, if you like play racing a lot here, this is pretty much what that's. Oh, that was not what I expected out of the gate. Trouble out of the start. I was going to say, if you like play racing, you're going to pretty much get that here. And Doug Sigmund and Ryan D. Cook, well, instead, they have been banished to the shadow realm for all they care. What on earth happened at the start? That's not how you start a race here, boys. What happened here, I wonder?
This is gonna be fun to already go to the pedal to the metal intermediate play, as we haven't even got through one lap yet.
Well, to me it looked like the number 12, Ryan D. Cook, unfortunately just got cooked thanks to a little bit of a mental error there, unfortunately, on Doug Sigmund. It looked like Sigmund just lost the accelerator, or he lost a lot of his shifting mobility there. That thing did not look like it got off the line. Let's take a listen here as we go on board with him. Oh yeah, he got he had a hung clutch there. Hung the clutch and then went for the ride. Thankfully, minimal damage.
That's what I was getting ready to say too. Maybe it looks like he missed a shift, or got into the shift late by staying in the clutch too long, which that could be trouble easy if you have ever driven a manual.
Well, like I say, driving a manual these days, man, it's like trying to teach a millennial how to cook these days. It doesn't quite always work out.
Yeah, it doesn't, because my uncle tried to teach me how to drive his manual Jeep in a field. Let's just say, I was able to get it going, but I wasn't able to get it stopped without stalling out.
So right now, currently, every driver just trying to get themselves squared up back on the track here, looking to roll their way down on the circuit. And I'm going to say something too real quick here, Michael. This may be something you don't know too well, but you will see these drivers be a little bit more on the clairvoyant side. They're going to be a little bit more on the controlled end. They're not going to try and run too quick, too hard. The biggest thing is they're going to be trying to save their equipment as much as possible because they have no instant repairs and they have no extra tire sets to switch between. All they have is fuel limits and fuel lines that they've got to figure out, as well as trying to keep those tires relatively under control throughout this entire race. So the reason being is it makes it a little bit more fun and interesting to try to plan out strategies, and also I think honestly it just keeps drivers more in check and in line more than anything.
So we'll probably be seeing late aggressive racing towards the end then, when it starts getting like maybe 5 to 10 to go.
Oh no, it gets racy just from the get-go. They don't matter what they do. They start strong, they finish strong.
So like basically how we see on Sundays with certain names I'm not going to name. Getting aggressive early and staying aggressive.
Yeah, pretty much in this case.
So far, I like what I'm seeing in these super late models.
I mean, you've only really just kind of got a look of them. You haven't even got a whiff or a smell or even an actual taste of them. So, I mean, I think it'll be quite interesting once they get going here.
I think it will be too. As I have a little bit of, as I race with some of these guys on the Thursday night series here. And I gotta say, these guys are pretty good in these in the next gens.
Yeah, I'll say right now, currently, with the way the field is, you got some of the next-gen components, the truck drivers as well. It's a mix and match, and it's a lot of fun to see everyone just kind of put up the stuff and put the speeds up to the table. I think we're in for a really good treat here once they get it going here.
Yeah, I think we are as well.
Well, we'll lead it back down off turn number 4 here this time on by. I think it's about time to get him rolled back up. His lights flickered back on the pace car. Looks like they're trying to get John Hibbick Jr. figured out down there. I think he had a mechanical issue out of the gates. They're currently struggling to get him figured out here and see what he's going to do.
I can see that now. I can see that too. As lights are off on the pace car this time by. And the cars that were up front, that were towards the back of the field or had something going on, they're now getting past the pace car and going back and getting ready to get back in the back of the field to get ready for this restart. And the one big thing I didn't notice as well is the exhaust coming out the passenger side door. Do you know why that is?
What's up?
The one thing I didn't notice about these that I haven't noticed with other cars is the exhaust coming out the driver's side door instead of the normal area under the diffuser on the right sides. On the right side.
Well, kind of put this into perspective here, my good sir. The thing is that these cars, they're more built for short tracks, so they're more aerodynamically dependent for short track racing. So with that exhaust back there, it helps them out, kind of keep themselves more in line, keep them more in check here. Helps them out quite a bit when they need to. So we'll see how it does, though, as we bring it back to the green flag restart. So underway back with the Go Racing Diecast LLC Super Series.
Well, at least we got through the trial and getting through turns 1 and 2 clean this time.
Well, last time we just didn't get through the first. We just didn't get through the first straightaway, unfortunately, before things got out of hand. Now, thankfully, things kind of calming down a bit here. Right now, every driver looking for their lane.
It looks like Mike Kelly caught his early on the initial restarts. He did get a good launch.
And I got a good launch out of that. He actually got a little bit of speed cooked up. Rewind down on the front straightaway here. Looks like it's going to be a little hot shot between Wild and Livingston, as well as Bobby Wetzel.
Yeah, we got a good. Go ahead.
I was going to say, down there, Donaldson and Wild, they're getting a little bit antsy with each other. Donaldson getting a little bit of contact there from Wild. As they keep it straight, they rate him through.
Now, I was going to say, we did have a good battle for the lead between Tyler Dalton and Mike Kelly. But Tyler Dalton didn't make the pass, as Mike Kelly did fall back to second, as Mike Kelly right now is trying to hold off and trying to regroup and try to make another run for the lead.
Yeah, I got to remember something, though. Dalton tries to jump out way too quickly. Those tires burn up quicker than he can kind of catch back up with them. He's going to have to be careful here and watch every little angle and turn he does. More burn off on that. That's going to pretty much cost them. They cannot throw those tires on and off. They have to use what they're given. Cody Sturgill right now, company there. Had to deal with Levi McCarty for a minute, got ahead of him, then fell back again. AJ Coffin, I believe that's how we're going to say his name. Going head to head here. Right now, the number 11 machine, supposed to be the 61, currently firing quick there on the number 24 as he makes his pass. We have ourselves a new position gained up here. And this is the first time, I believe, we've ever seen AJ on the track here. So interested to see what the driver with that 24-16i rating can pull up here. But so far, looking pretty good.
Right now, we have Brian Waterman, who's just running dead last by himself right now, trying to, looks like, either figure out the car or figure out this track a little bit before he tries to make a good run.
Well, what I can tell you about Wortman down there is he actually is a little bit more on the conservative side, likes to be a little bit more paced out, a little bit more focused on his energy, kind of more focused on the track here. He doesn't want to try to overdrive or overdo or cook something. He just wants to try to do his own thing, kind of play his own game plan. I do like the strategy he puts up. Unfortunately, Wortman's strategy this season just has not worked. He's come close to Dover, but not at other tracks, though.
Well, good payoff today with how this track is laid out with these super light models. With having no tire changes and all these guys being aggressive and their tires falling off, he could have a chance at catching up and maybe making a run for the lead late in the race.
Ryan E. Cook right now, bad damage on the front of the nose there. Again, not by no means his own fault. It was unfortunately just a horrible situation out of the gate with him and Doug Sigmund. And Sigmund and him, unfortunately, since then have not been able to get back up to the pace and speeds they were carrying earlier. Jerry Livingston right now, the number 96, going head to head there with the Wild Man's Wild going up top. Gets shoot up a little bit. The living legend is trying to make a jump and a run for it. He goes from the back to scratch to the top. the record, I gave him the Living Legend nickname there, Michael, because his last name's Livingston. So I kind of thought it'd be a little pun on the Living Legend term. So besides, he's a good old driver. He's a good old boy, but does he know how to race too? So
I can tell. And that name does kind of stick with him. I agree. That nickname does stick.
I just hope one day I can get that moniker of broadcasting or maybe with racing in general. That'd be actually kind of nice here. Speaking of being kind of nice, looks like Dalton starting to loosen up a little bit. He's giving Mike Kelly a little bit of a chance to catch up, and that in turn has now focused Kelly's attention to making the pass here down the back straightaway. Dalton drove it quick and too hard off, and now Kelly jumping right bottom of the lane. He's got the race lead. Slide job engaged from turn 4.
We've seen a lot of hard battling between these two up front here as of late.
Well, if you haven't watched any of the other broadcasts, I'll tell you right now here, Michael, those two just do not know when to leave each other alone. I've seen those two just go head-to-head with each other back and forth, and neither of them want to give an inch to the other. It just almost seems like they have a vendetta against each other to just take each other to their limit.
I can tell. They're pushing their tires, pushing their cars. It's going to probably cost them if they keep pushing as hard as they are in the long run.
Little onboard camera here with Levi McCarty right now. McCarty, whoo boy, oh Dougie, he got a huge run coming down that front straightaway. Had to lift quick. He was bulking it right forward, Dalton and Kelly. Little drag racing off there from that front straightaway. Couldn't quite get an opening though to shoot for the gap, and maybe trying to keep the tires somewhat relatively in check. But that was a huge run he gained up there.
I was just about to mention that as well because I saw that too coming to the tri-oval. At this point, I think all these drivers are noticing how aggressive they're starting to get, and knowing that they have one set of tires early in the race, it's going to be interesting to see how long these drivers try to stay aggressive or eventually start to save tires. Still got a lot of racing to do.
I believe right now in the championship hunt, I believe it's Mike Kelly and Anthony Calatoni right now that are dead even with each other in terms of who can get where, but Kelly obviously feels like he kind of is owed a championship after the numerous losses he faced back in the trucks division, and then coming up second place, and then coming up about 4th place in the actual championship truck race season. Just in the last Tuesday night editions we were broadcasting for. Once we got these Super Series though in our hands here or there, Michael, I tell you, it was a whole different animal, and I just love seeing this stuff. This is just absolutely tremendous racing action they get. Levi McCarty right now taking over Brian Kelly, but loses the lead down the straightaway.
So when you were mentioning the championship hunt, so basically what you were saying, the championship is just like the call we make on our Sunday broadcast. No playoffs, just whoever has most points at the end of the season.
Well, this one it is. This is no playoffs, no nothing. It's just mainly for fun. But the normal championship race seasons they do, a little slide job there, almost catching the 88 off guard. That's pretty realistic though, you gotta admit that. Nicely saved though by Levi, but unfortunately, tire shreds off, and now that's gonna cost him a lot of time. It's Seth Fauci now. He's digging in deep, trying to make the move on Kelly. As Kelly's getting a little bit loose down there. They're getting a little bit antsy down there, Michael.
Now I was seeing that as well.
I was trying to say yes. Right now, they with this being just a fun race season, no, they're not doing the playoff championships. But trust me, when they are doing they're doing their normal main races. It's playoff championship season all day, and they have absolutely some of the craziest and wild moments they will get. And right now, he's getting a taste of what they were up to in those championship hunts, because right there, Levi McCarty threw everything he had to try to make a pass on Mike Kelly. It didn't stick. Now Seth Fauci trying to do the same line, same move, and trying to close him back off from that gap.
It does look like we had Doug Sigmund fall back a little too, trying to maybe either pull the same strategy, or he just has a little bit of damage in it, and he's having trouble keeping up right now.
Hard to really say, although I could say one thing's for sure. If NASCAR was trying to get that next gen originally to be literally like what this car was right now on the track, they should have just gone about a couple of super late models and just tested that out on these on these big ass tracks, because I think they might have had something here. This is just absolutely phenomenal racing through and through. Once we got them kind of reeled up and let them roll out, now the battles just continue to pace up. This is some great stuff.
And I do see that damage you're talking about on Ryan Cook. I do think I see a little bit of front end damage on Charles Van Stack as well on his front end. looks like his left front quarter panel.
Speaking of quarter panel in the middle, front of the nose in the middle, 3 wide for the race lead.
Question is, will we see him eventually try to go 4 wide for the lead?
Well, how crazy these guys are, in fact, they're racing for fun, I wouldn't put anything past them at this point.
Neither would I.
Looking down low yet again, Bobby Wetzel hasn't been to victory lane in quite some time. Looking to try to change that as again the cars, they're driving up so fast and so hard, they're having to either make a choice, go to the high side or back off the throttle a little bit and use the bottom lane for leverage and short the track out. There's only 2 ways to run it around here in the super late because that middle of me is out of bounds. Because that's where earlier you saw that 88, he got really loose, and even Sturgill getting a little bit loose there. The rear end kicking out underneath him. There's the same move. And he was right in the middle of the lane. That's where he does not want to be, and that cost him precious time here.
That cost him, but at least he kept it clean and kept from causing a massive wreck or maybe even a 2-car wreck. So he's probably how these guys are driving right now.
Car package deal on this one. I believe they're running about a 4. Oh, look out front there on the low. There goes Bobby Wetzel, and now everyone evasive action. Fauci trying to get out of that one. Sturgill about took him for a ride. Oh my. Ooh, there was ever a clincher right there, or literally just a oh my goodness moment. I think we may need to get that one on the list. That was crazy. Wetzel goes to the wall, clips it up. Everybody else, well, they went crazy and trying to get in.
They're 3 wide right now. They're 3 wide.
Battle for third. Shoot off that gap. Bounty. Oh, look out down there. Trouble, looks like, for one of them. I think it might have been AJ Cawthon we're seeing there. No, it was not. I guess I just kind of said it. Looks like I just saw it wrong on my end. I saw one car I thought going completely sideways there off turn number 2. And that might have been my bad there.
Now I've seen it all. The only thing I know I have not seen yet is a 5 wide salute.
Oh!
And we do have a car at the wall.
Wetzel yet again. And he's ready. Oh, he's getting back in the wall. He's got a problem right now, Michael. That right front, that right side of the tires, I think it may have been broken, bent out of the wheel frame and the bar system. I think he might have completely shafted his entire steering wheel there. I think he's going to have to go to pit road and get that fixed up quickly because that does not look like he's going to be able to continue on with that competitiveness anyway.
That's what I was about to say. If he was already in the wall in a turn and he was already back in the wall in 1 and 2, that's got to be a steering issue. That had happened to me before at Kansas. Got in the wall, took a little bit of damage, got back in the wall, blew my steering out, missed pit road entry because of my bad steering, had to go back around, then was able to finally get into pit road, running the apron the whole lap.
Now let me ask you this. When you were driving there in Kansas, were you driving a Cup car, Xfinity, or a Truck Series or something like that?
Next again.
Yeah, try imagining how hard it must have been to drive one of those versus driving a Super Late model at the speed you have to carry just to hang on around here.
I probably already can't imagine.
That's pretty much what you're kind of stuck with at that point. You're just stuck. You're kind of pretty much literally just a dump truck for a machine you had to race around. By the way, there's all that madness for second. Mike Kelly just pretty much just jumped ahead of everybody. Now he's just taking it under control here.
Seems like we're always starting to get started as we're seeing a little bit of everybody trying to just get single file and save tires. Or just trying to maybe lay back for a little bit. Give us a little bit of a show.
Deborah Cyrus saying Jeep on Gmo is cheering you on today. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa. Although I'm not racing, this isn't my race. I'm just broadcasting, but I appreciate the way supporting us. You know how grandparents are.
Yeah, I do.
The living legend, Jerry Livingston right now. 8 spots up, still in the 11th corner right now. Currently going head-to-head here with Wetzel, as Wetzel still tries to find a way to get back up to pace, back up to par. It's speaking to go up to par, 3 wide, saluting as AJ Cawthon throws the heavy hitter right at the 96 and the 9. Cawthon, though, driven a little bit up there, but manages to squeeze his way back on down low. Looks like some serious hard racing making its way through here in this race.
Indeed, there's a whole lot of hard racing. I bet there's a lot of tire fall off going on right now too. I just wonder, how much tire can fall off in one of these on one set of tires? How much tire fall off you looking at?
How much tire fall off would you be looking at?
Yeah, how does tire fall tend to compare in one of these at Kansas compared to a next gen at Kansas?
Well, I mean, depending on how hard you drive it, I would say probably these tires hold up a lot better because they're more built short track purpose-wise, so that's pretty much designed more to handle and withstand the pressure from a short track. But the downside, though, is the fact of you also have to work around the overall temperature change, overall wheel bearing changes, and everything else. As the tire goes further in, it'll start to become a lot more tighter than it would have been per se looser, and then makes it a lot more difficult to kind of control from there. And that's where these drivers are really having to keep a close eye on.
It does look like David Watts decided just to take it behind the wall as he was having too much steering or suspension issues.
Let's take a look at our lap timing sheets right now, and currently this is what Kelly and Sturgill are up to. So Kelly probably backing off a little bit, trying to save the tire for as much as he can. Realizes now this is a long run, and currently Sturgill just making up all that lost ground time there with a little help from the 91 WBD Diecast. That is Wesley Donaldson coming up quick.
You see what I mean? Mike Kelly does look like he appears to be falling off a little bit.
If there was one driver, though, this entire league that I feel probably at this point, besides Sammy Harrell, that needs to get a win in or needs to get back to victory lane, I gotta believe it is the Budweiser number 24, Cody Sturgill.
I'd probably say Kyle Dalton might have the speed to maybe win this thing. But still a long way hard to tell.
Well, he's already back in 11th spot, so he's got a lot of work to catch up. This is not something usually I'm even seeing from the Reign of Terror, and that's honestly kind of surprising. But right now, Wesley Donaldson trying to put everything he got there against Mike Kelly as Cody Sturgill looks on from behind. Levi McCarty, our Hard Charger Award winner right now, the recipient going 12 up. He's currently making it work here.
So now Wesley Donaldson now taking the fight to Mike Kelly for the lead.
He's looking for every kind of bit of ground and coverage he can get right now. He's looking for every little chance he can nail off in the turns. I think the hardest part for him right now has just been kind of nailing down each corner, nailing down each sector. Sturgill, look at him trying to cut the bottom lane down a little bit. Decided to drive up higher, then go down low, try to diamond. I don't know how all that works, considering that McCarty has got a whole bunch of speed jumping in. Here comes the 88, but remember last time that rear end kicked underneath him. He's got to be careful down there.
We'll see what happens. And right now we are closest side by side for the lead. Good battle between Donaldson and Kelly right now for the lead.
Kelly wanted some sweet redemption and revenge there on Donaldson. Donaldson took him down a couple of weeks ago. Right now, Donaldson trying to get another win onto his radar. And he has, I believe he's got one in the Super Late Series, and I know he has one in those Next Gen Cup Series there at Daytona. So right now, obviously driving kind of what I would best describe as kind of a plate S track style race or a Next Gen before the 670 horsepower package update came into play. That's been a huge little change up here and winding for these drivers.
All I can say is these next gens sound a little bit better than these Super Late sound a little bit better than these next gens.
I think the thing I like more about them is just the fact of they feel more like an actual car than I guess really what the kind of the supercar style that feel is of the next gens. Obviously some people have told me like they're designed more to be like the supercars because they're more built for like the road courses and more for the bigger tracks, but I'll still say unless you got the bread and butter figured out how to use it on a short track, I do not want to hear it.
Neither do I, because I can't even figure out a next gen yet. Week in, week out, I still can't figure one out.
Well, I don't think the point is to ever figure it out. I think the point is just make sure you race what you got, race what you're given. but the fact is that the next gen is such an enigma still that that's what's given so many winners each season and so many different competitors coming out day in and day out. The competition level is as ferocious and as fierce as it has ever been. And really, I think we're only just kind of seeing just kind of the breathing doing of where it could go. I think down the road you can see more of it, but right now the Super Late Models division on these bigger tracks, I honestly can tell you that we've seen numerous winners numerous times, and honestly no one had won 2 races up until Mike Kelly finally figured out a way to do it and got himself 2 wins in the race season, and then Don followed in pursuit. As Seth said, I don't think it's anybody else that's fit in that totem pole. I know Calatoni though's got 1 win, and he's looking to try to add more as another crossover is delivered there by Kelly. Kelly and Donaldson just going back and forth, back and forth. Neither driver wants to give up as another crossover comes down from turn number 3 to 4. Slide job steady by the 91.
These guys are good at the side draft and slide jobs. I wonder how these. I haven't seen really slide jobs succeed in the next gens at all, but
Tracks like this, honestly, it kind of just makes it more worth and more fun to kind of do, because the thing is, you have to use that bottom lane at times, but that top lane allows you to use and maneuver through so many ways and angles, and that's what makes it so difficult right now.
yeah, it does. And the tire falling off too. That's what also adds a big thing too.
Donaldson up. What? Good.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, normally you see a lot of these next gens running the wall in the turns, and then start slowly moving down towards the bottom where the grip is. But here you see them running in the middle, and these Superways you see them running in the middle, high, and bottom. They have perfect grip all around.
Well, again, a lot of it based on the tires, how low they are to the ground, as well as just the overall control the cars can take. Again, they are driving a car that I believe can hold about 450 horsepower, which I believe also kind of translates to a 500 differential, if you will. The speeds they carry is about 180 to 179 at peak performance. So, again, they're pretty much letting them loose. So, yeah, 550 horsepower package on these bad boys, yeah, they can pretty much go. And I think that's what they're running today.
I believe so too, as I just used my radar gun and I'm clocking them at like 160 in the 169, 165 in the turns, and about 178 on the straights.
Donaldson right up into the wall, trying to drive that line all the way through, and just like what we saw with a few others, he couldn't quite keep it off the wall protection. Now Mike Kelly with company there from Levi McCarty. And by the way, Kelly has not really left that top spot all day long. He's been pretty much staying nice and controlled here from the get-go.
What's the fuel window look like on these super late models you getting at? Has Mike Kelly going in the pits? The 91's going with him.
Yep, gone at pit road. Now we'll see how he goes from there.
Lev McCarthy takes your lead right now. With him, your new leader, we have Cody Sturgill and 84 Anthony Caltani in third.
Anthony Calatoni right now. Yeah, that is the name. That is the name. Trust me, I've already messed up his last name enough from last season. I told him I would never mess it up again. So he is the Talking Giants versus the world man that holds the power, and he is the one that leads them to it. He's trying to lead the TG machine through and through, but he's got Sammy Morrell and Cody Sturgill, the 2 young guns and drivers I said were the ones to watch out for. Levi McCarty getting down to pit road now. We'll see what they can do with it as Sturgill now leads them down.
I was getting ready to mention, with Mike Kelly starting to pit, that's showing these other drivers, hey, it's time to start pitting, or maybe think about staying out, trying to get a jump on these guys.
Trying to get a jump or two is one thing, but it's another thing when you're trying to build up that kind of speed and that kind of run. Ryan D. Cook even, he's coming up through the field in the ranks right now. We're just going to see what Sturgill and Harrell do if they'll go to pit road. It looks like that will not be the case. They're going to stay out a little bit longer. looking at the time zone right now here, currently their pit lane stops. Sturgill hasn't been to pit road. Harrell was in there on lap 4. Cook was on lap 2. I think right now Harrell's probably looking at the strategy and thinking, if I can just stay out a little longer, I don't have to go into pit road and take as much fuel. And if I keep Sturgill with me, I might have a chance here to actually get some speed and get some pace going here and maybe have a shot.
That's what I was getting ready to think too, because you gotta think. Less fuel, less time, and faster you'll be able to get up to speed. So that'd be less weight in the car.
Absolutely there, good sir, and that's what really makes the breaks a difference here in these kind of races. Momentum is king, and so is the level of the playing field. That's what makes it so hard to do. And the Sturgill pit road stop. Will Cook join him? Yes, he will. Looks like Harrell's going in too. We got 3 to pits, and that could be a difference maker. AJ Cawthon going to go in there with them. Kevin England, Doug Sigmund now choosing their battles.
Which means more than likely have either Donaldson or Mike Kelly come out the leader after the whole entire pit cycle. But I could be wrong. So I gotta say, I like what I'm seeing so far in these.
I mean, I told you probably like it. I even told you these guys run as hard as they look, and they're giving everything they can bring to the table.
It looks like we have the 127, who is way in the back. Now he has the lead right now, building.
Game plans right now starting to come into full effect here. Kevin England currently trying to stay one step ahead of transition. Sam Morrell getting out of pit road quickly as Donaldson comes up right to him. Calatoni and all of them right there. Morrell, oh, that's a beautiful strategy. I ever saw one, and he got Donaldson perfectly on the march. Harrell is now back in the pace and back in contention. Could today finally be the race he's been looking for? England just now getting to pit road here, Michael and Ashley. If Kevin can plan this one out, he could literally be the one that we were kind of sleeping on. It's hard to say, but he's got a big choice to make, and he needs to figure this out pronto.
Well, if he was able to get 52 laps of fuel, he probably would just need what, about a can, maybe half a can, to be able to finish this one out.
I'd say probably about a can or so, yeah. Mike Kelly right now jumping in the bottom lane, trying to get around Calatoni. Harrell White laying low. Donaldson for the moment. Everybody else trying to catch up there with it. England, though, he's still in pit road. He decided to have a really late fuel run. I don't know how to feel about that strategy.
Well, only time will tell. But anything can still happen. Another caution could come out, and that could reset the whole field, too. Let's just hope he wasn't banking on a caution to come out before he pitted.
It's all on his choice here. These drivers get a choice, they get a chance to figure everything out, to nail it this position. It's a lot of work, but those that are capable and know how to make it do, they can really bring out the best of themselves.
I can tell. For a pitch strategy you do, it was coming into play more than likely for tonight.
Oh, absolutely there. I mean, the big, like I said, when you got tires that you only use so much of, then you got a fuel run you have to watch out for still. At least got pit in once. It changes your game plan, your strategies up so much. It really forces you in some areas that you don't want to necessarily be in and that you don't necessarily want to mess up on. That's where it really kind of holds down everyone in terms of their control and speed.
Now, if I was Donaldson and Samuel right now, I would try to stick together and try to use less fuel that way, and try to maybe get a 1-2 finish here.
But so Calatoni's still going head to head there a little bit. Donaldson and Harrell. Yeah, I can see what you mean there with 25 laps to go. Although I don't think Harrell's got the same idea you got, good sir. Here comes the 43 of the SGB oil machine, trying to oil up the back and make sure the front of Donaldson's got nothing to grip. Slips it by. We have ourselves a new leader. And look at Donaldson almost just eagerly just waiting to get back to the bottom lane to make the pass on Harrell. Harrell saw him coming, so he decided to just keep the space up and pacing him down. The way it's looking right now, honestly, I think maybe Donaldson maybe actually trying to work with Harrell a little bit, because he's had a lot of opportunities to gain so much speed and power and then make a pass again. I think he's trying to keep the 43 burning the fuel up and make sure he saves his own fuel so they can race it out at the very end there, Michael.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably what's going to happen. And try to have it come down to the line like I've seen on some of our Sunday calls a few times.
Well, we have had one line dealer that finished it literally at the very exit of the line. It was literally just 3 cars side by side to the finish. And I kind of wish that iRacing would have took that clip and showed it on their end, because we've had some great race finishes before, but that was an absolute unit of a race there with those Super League model divisions.
Yeah, I can tell. These guys are in it to win it. It looks like if this was a championship race right now, these guys will be in it to win it. As it looks like we have the 91 in the wall. But it was hard to tell from the angle I had on the camera. Just saw a little bit of smoke coming off the track.
Can't quite tell on my end there, buddy. It looks like he might have scraped the car up a little bit, but the car seems to be okay to continue on.
Did you by any chance catch a number, or just the same thing I caught, just the smoke?
Didn't even see the smoke. No damage on the 91, so I think we're okay. John Hickman Jr. and Tyler Dalton and Ryan D. Cook back there kind of fighting out a little bit. It was getting a little bit of an onboard shot there with Hickman Jr. We'll try to go back to it here as we go back underneath. Trying to get ahead there of the old Reign of Terror and get some sweet redemption on him, but only one caution so far this race here. Pretty impressive if you ask me. It's really just been kind of a matter of pacing the strategy out, kind of lingering around. Mike Kelly even trying to make a jump back through as Donaldson and Harrell fight for the race lead.
Looks like we have Kelly now trying to join the party again. But it's a 3-way battle for the lead again.
That lead switches around so much anymore, you really just kind of got to keep your eye on it and watch every little corner, every little turn, because you just never know who's going to get to where and who's going to get to what, and then how quick things can change on a dime. And that's exactly what you're dealing with right now in terms of being in that car and in that track.
Looks like right now we have Harrell just trying to post right now, as we could still be seeing a new battle. That's 6 wide. Looks like it could be 3 wide here for the lead.
Harrell crapped on the middle. Donaldson catching a breather. And Harrell now slipped up by Donaldson. Donaldson's your new leader. And Mike Kelly trying to get it past Harrell. I think Harrell might have a problem. Oh, Donaldson's got an even bigger problem, though. He's in the wall again. Off turn number 4. Down to the line. And Kelly's going to get ahead of both of them. 2 for the price of 1.
2 for the price of 1, but now we got Kelly still trying to hold him off in 1 and 2.
Good Lord, I don't even know what to believe at this point. Harrell back into the lead just for a brief second here as Mike Kelly now tries to get back onto the bottom lane in that rung. And the more these 3 battle out, the more they're giving Cantoni all he wants to see. Remember last week, he won here on Beat Race TV after numerous attempts and races out of the spotlight. His last win came in the Trucks division at Elk Club Speedway, but it really, we talked about already, but his heartbreaker was that next race. To come back that last week, he came by, and to have sweet, sweet redemption be bestowed on that TG versus the World 84. I guarantee you, he is right now looking to prove he can still go as fast as he can get it. And right now, he's trying to, but there's still 3 wide battling there for that race lead. Oh my!
And it looks like Kelly might have had got a little loose off 3 and 4, but able to save and keep it from spinning out, and able to keep it 3 wide, as it looks like Harrell had that same issue just now.
We had talked earlier about a 3-way battle there for the race lead. Now it's now a 4-way, fatal 4-way, if you will.
If anything, more than likely it's to come down to the line, or come out of 3 and 4 as we normally been seeing in a lot of these races with aggressive racing.
Well, you got to be aggressive with this car, especially because the thing is, you're having to go literally full forward, full speed, almost every single corner, every single turn. And then when you get lined up in a draft spot, then you're hoping that the car has a bit of speed to kind of catch them. And once they get right on there, then it's all about making that big slingshot pass, that big drive off from there. It's extremely difficult to kind of narrow down and perfectively get set, but boy, they can really get it done when they get to it.
Right now, it looks like we have Donaldson and Kelly starting to pull away a little bit. Not by much, though.
Not by much, but again, we saw Donaldson in the wall multiple times already today. I don't know how that 91 is still somewhat in this race. But with 14 laps to go, it could go down to the wire. It could go either way here. It's now just a matter of choice. What do you opt to do? Do you try to stay in that lane and risk having to roll the wall, or do you try maybe get down a little bit, block some of them, and get some speed going from there?
Only time will tell. But if I was some of these guys towards the back right now, I'd start thinking about maybe trying something different than what they're trying right now. Maybe make a late run. But anything can still happen.
Anything can happen indeed right now as we're rolling up 12 laps almost to go. Mike Kelly still looking for Donaldson, trying to get around him. At this point though, maybe just trying to be a little more patient, a little bit more to control. Knows they don't have much left in the way they can do.
It looks like I have Lev McCartney also trying, and Bobby Whistle trying to catch them as well now. They're trying, but it could be possible. As you could maybe be seeing a big battle coming up soon for the lead.
Coming up soon, coming up quick. Right now, currently, 4 cars feasibly have a chance to take over the race win. But again, are they saving the last bit of their time for the big jump ahead? Right now, Levi McCarty and Bobby Wetzel in the back having a little go at it here as they currently ready for their challenge and ready for their little spot up here as they watch everyone else go at it.
You know, this just seems like we're pretty much calling race that like we had on Sunday, like I call on Sunday for the first half of the race. Good, clean racing.
Good clean racing, good hard racing. It's one thing I love about watching these GOAT drivers go at it. They never seem to fail at just putting up some tension and putting up some fight. And it certainly throws out every shot in the dark and everything you can with it.
Yeah, because from experience I've had with these guys on Thursday night, we've had one caution. We had one caution early in the race, and then we didn't have another caution until about 15 to go. So I know, I feel what you mean by these guys are good and are aggressive early. They know how to keep a race clean.
Keep the race clean, keep the advantage and the action going here right now. Just a few more laps left to go. And Wetzel almost catching McCarty there right off turn number 4. As now things start to heat up a little bit to the race lead. Kelly and Donaldson head to head here. This is getting interesting.
Looks like McCartney lost the ground he was trying to gain, as he did fall back a little bit from the leaders. Uh-oh, we got a battle for third right now.
Certainly do got a battle indeed there. Sammy Orell and FDM Calatoni going head to head here. Trying to stabilize up one little bit here as Donaldson and Kelly just continue to nail down their corners and nail down their turns.
It looks like they're finding the preferred line now, just running the high line around the corners and trying to keep it off the wall the best they can as well. What I have noticed is as they're trying to run run high in the turns right now, they'll have to let off the gas a little just to get in the turn so they don't slide too far up the track.
6 laps left to go right now. Donaldson doing a great job staying off that wall, but can he continue on, especially if he gets put pressure on him? With Kelly, Harrell, and Calatoni, they'll try everything they can. They're trying to close that gap off him and trying to push him as much as they can up near that wall. If one of them gets close. Oh, right there, yep, Donaldson just barely grazed it. He about got himself into some serious trouble there. Now all 3 of them trying to line up and gap to that 91. 5 laps to go. Oh, hold on.
He gets it off the track. We stay green.
Tried it off turn 1 there, saved it. I don't know how he did it, but Harrell's chances all but gone in smoke and mirrors and out the window. Calatoni in the same situation. Bobby Wetzel, he's got problems. Wetzel wrecking it down on the back straightaway. The 9 has spun and crashed out completely. Levi McCarty and it looked like they both made contact there on that back half. Couldn't quite catch it before it was too little too late.
Yeah, right now we have Kelly and Donaldson still battling it out right now. Donaldson gained a little bit on Kelly in the turn. Kelly's trying to regain the ground he lost on the straightaway as Kelly decided to run the low line while Donaldson ran the high line.
Donaldson right now not trying to wall right, but literally just glide as close as you possibly could to that wall without end up destroying your equipment too with it. Mike Kelly right now, 3 laps to go. Time is running out.
Time running out. Time to see if Kelly will get aggressive as looks like he hit his brake a little coming to the turn. Now it's probably going to cost him a few seconds, a little bit as well as Donaldson starting to pull away a little bit more now as the gap is a 40th of a second right now.
Oh, how the chimes have gotten harder and how they have completely missed everything up on their end of their front with 2 laps to go. Pacing is arbitrary and extremely clear. Don't let this mistake or anything decipher you how you race from here. Just go for broke and go for everything you got. Donaldson knows this, and he's currently just trying to make sure he keeps old Kelly behind him.
Right now, Donaldson able to keep Kelly behind him as we are exiting 3 and 4, and Donaldson will see the white flag.
White flag coming out there, presented by Go Racing Diecast LLC. Donaldson with a sizable lead over Kelly. Kelly right now pushing on as his chances are all but slipping away. He tried everything he could, but I don't think it's going to be his day today. Oh, as I say that, Donaldson just catching a little bit of that wall almost. Looks like he'll stay out of it. Oh, he's going to the bottom way. He knows what he's up to now. He's just going to go run the bottom and send it on its way. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Kansas, there is no time to waste. Wesley Donaldson takes this one home to the finish. What a run.
Whatever. I was about to say the same thing. Only one incident, but that's early in the race. More than likely it was a missed shift or a late or a short or a long shift. Took a minute for the driver to get his shift and start out.
Safe to say though, it was a tough, long, winding road, and each driver just could not get themselves out of trouble in quick enough a time, or they couldn't figure out how to not burn up the equipment too quickly. And Donaldson exploits them to the line here and taking home a solid win. It's celebration time for the number 181 WPD Diecast.
Celebration time after a hard-fought win.
And a hard-fought one indeed, and clarified up with your race finishers today, ladies and gentlemen, presented by Go Racing Diecast LLC. Wesley Donaldson 4 spots up to the lane. He'll claim this one. Mike Kelly second yet again in 2 weeks, but takes home second place. Calatoni not far behind. The 84 going third. Samuel taking home a solid top 5 after so long out of that spotlight. Tyler Dalton manages to be a little reign of terror as always and climb himself back into the top 5 bracket. Charles Van Schaik taking home 6th, 7th to Levi McCarty, 8th to Ryan D. Cook, 9th to Cody Sturgill, and 10th to AJ Cawthon. rounds out your top 10 in this one here. The rest of your finishers on the screen here is, well, we're going to roll them out and chat them up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk to your top 3 drivers here on the show. Let's begin with the guy they call TG versus the world himself, Anthony M. Calatoni, back with us here. And Anthony, last week, victory lane. This week, another podium, but still solid effort for you and the team. How did it feel going down the end there, buddy?
We were just kind of just riding around there, Christian. It was track position was so key, but this car is just so equal. It's hard to hold the track position. So kind of got lucky there when Sammy scraped the wall there. You know, I had nowhere to go. So I mean, that's why I got into the back of him. But just nowhere to go, and we lucked into a third place today because we probably would have finished fourth.
Now, I was gonna ask you, when you and Sammy got into made a little contact coming out of 1 and 2, what was going through your mind as you saw him about go around?
Crap. I was just like, oh no, don't hit the wall. I saw his car drifting up the track, and then I just saw it getting close to the wall, and once I saw it make contact, usually it ends very badly for that car and the car behind you here, and luckily we got out of it. Just what happened.
Well, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, he's still rolling around with a solid third place today. Calatoni, man, who do you want to thank for this one, buddy?
Absolutely, Christian. We finished right there behind our competitor there, Mike Kelly, for the championship. So hopefully we didn't lose too many points. But obviously I want to thank Talking Giants, John Boy Media, the fans, you guys for the broadcast. I see we have a new broadcaster up here now, and I want to welcome you to the booth now. Hope you're enjoying what you guys are watching, and all the sponsors here at Goat Racing Sim 500 and the Sim 500 Mafia team.
Congratulations, Anthony, man. You're well earned and deserved there for this podium today, buddy.
Thank you. We'll catch you guys next week.
We certainly will indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Calatoni taking home a nice solid third. Mike Kelly going to go home in the second spot here. And Mike, once more, sir, another second. But again, that's what you need to stay consistent in these championship hunts. I mean, really, this is what you want to see, and this is the pace you need at, my friend. I mean, what has been going through your mind right now?
That's right, Steady Eddie. You know me, I go 100% balls to the wall. So that's what I did, and we had a lot of fun. Oh, Tyler and I were really having a lot of fun. And then a few other guys caught us, and we really ripped it up. And I drove, I wouldn't say I drove too hard, but I drove it plenty hard. And my tire was about to pop there at the end. So Wesley did a little bit better job saving than me. Took a little less gas, got out of the pits quicker than me, which helped him get in front of me. And it was a fun race. Second place. I mean, I'm leading the points, and that's what I got to do. I got to know when to go hard and know when to give room and not get wrecked out. So congrats to everybody for putting on a good, clean race after that first lap incident.
Now, as you mentioned, as you were feeling a tire go down, do you think if you probably didn't have a tire go down, you think you probably could have caught Donaldson for the lead?
No, I don't think it was. Well, 5%, I guess it could have been. It was definitely pushing really bad there and slowing down. But once he got in front of me and I kind of measured him up with what I had left, and the top was really good at that point, as far as where the tire wear was. It could run the bottom really well, but it wasn't as fast. So once he got out in front of me and I ran behind him a few times, tried to go low to see if you could possibly pull a side job or anything like we were earlier in the race, but the tires just weren't having any of that at that point in time. So with about 10 to go, I pretty much resigned that I was just going to try to, run right behind him, and maybe he'd slip up and get the wall or something like that and make a run for it. But I had resigned to probably finish in second, and then the last 5 laps, it really started to slow down. So unfortunate for Sammy to get in the wall there and have a problem and slow him and Anthony up. But between you and me, I was glad to see it because I was starting to struggle at that point. So I was just able to hold on for a good second place finish.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, here, with all that said and done, I got to ask you, Mike, who you want to thank for this one?
Thanks to you guys at PTM TV for putting these races on. And thanks to Goat and Chuck and everybody at Sim 500. All the sponsors that I got here, Trans Service, NC811, Valvoline. Chevy was hooked up tonight led a lot of laps, got a bonus point, good point night. So thanks to the team, and of course, thanks to the smoking hot wife.
All right, Mike. Congratulations on getting on home for a solid second today here, good sir. We'll see you next time out when this track rolls up on the circuit.
All right, appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again next week.
Sounds
Thanks.
good. Sounds good, buddy. Mike Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, he's pretty much been in that wall, and he found his way into victory lane. Wesley Donaldson taking this one home, and Wesley, dude, I don't even know how on earth you managed to keep this car somewhat clear of issues and clear of problems when you kept smacking everything that involved that wall protection. But man, you put everything down the table and used it wisely and well here, sir.
Yeah, I that was kind of the running joke throughout the race that I kept hitting the wall, but I don't know. I guess it didn't hit it hard enough that it really mattered too much. Didn't damage the car. And more importantly, didn't run into anyone else. But yeah, found my group kind of up at the top there and kept my tires at least good enough to hold Mike off there at the end.
Now, I was noticing coming down to the few closing laps, either you or Mike were hitting the brake coming to the turn. I was wondering why that was happening as you come into the turns.
I wasn't using the brake, but I was lifting a lot more than what I was earlier in the run. The right front was just really worn at that point in time, so I think I was down to 16% at the end of the race. I know Mike was down a lot lower than I was, so it was just trying to get it to turn, and like I said, trying to stay out of the wall there. I knew if I got into the wall, he'd have been gone too. So yeah, it was just a lot harder to drive with the tire wear at the end there.
Well, it certainly was indeed. But hey, Wesley, man, you still put everything to good use and put it all in the playing field you needed to today. There is only one last thing to ask, sir, is who do you want to thank for this one?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody here at Goat and Sim 500, Charles, all the admins, everybody who puts this stuff on. Thanks to Goat Racing Diecast for sponsoring the series. Shout out to Sim 500 Mafia, everybody in there, and all the help we get pre-race and practicing together and everything. And then shout out to my Instagram page, WBD Diecast. I do make custom diecast.
And some of the finest of diecasts to go along with it there, Wesley. Looks like another one out of the table. Congratulations winning it out here in Kansas Speedway, buddy.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wesley Donaldson, your winner today. And really, that's all we got for today here, Michael. First time watching Super Lates. What'd you think, buddy?
Ooh, they were fun. I can't wait to go maybe run a few practices in mine now. See how I like running them. This might be a new thing for me.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed it too, buddy. It was good to have you on here today. Well, that's about all we're going to cover today here, race fans. We're almost here at Beats Race TV. We do appreciate your time and effort. We'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies on the show.